You're listening to Inklings of Insight.
Hello, I have a new book summary for you today. The book we're going to be talking about is called The 5 a.m. Club. It's by Robin Sharma, and it's about owning your morning and elevating your life. So the summary starts off talking about a billionaire who has experienced extraordinary success. And it starts off by asking the question, what is the secret to success? Goes on to say it's not due to natural talent and it's not due to hard work or grit. So one of the things that I've spoken about in the past is that I really enjoy comparing the books that we've looked at to one another. And I love it when I come across a summary that kind of, in a way, seems to contradict something that we've highlighted in another book. And so, again, one of my other videos was about grit and how important grit is. And so I love the fact that immediately what jumps out in this particular summary is, hey, grit is not the key to this guy's accomplishments. Well, I know that might seem like a contradiction. We'll go through this book summary and you'll understand how it's not exactly a contradiction, at least as far as I'm concerned, but I just nonetheless thought that that was very interesting. So this book ultimately is about waking up early in the morning, at least 5 a.m. is early in my mind, and optimizing your morning routine in order to get the best out of yourself and to basically heighten your performance. So this particular quote says 5 a.m. is the time of least distraction, highest human glory, and greatest peace. So I wanted to look into some statistics around people and how they spend their time, and hopefully that'll help us kind of understand this methodology that's being proposed to us and how it might benefit us. So the first one that I noticed was, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1/3 of American adults, approximately 1/3, 36%, don't get enough sleep, which is defined as 7 or more hours per night. In conjunction with that, according to the American Time Use Survey, Americans believe that on average, they waste 2.1 hours per day doing unproductive activities. These activities include watching television, surfing the internet, and spending time on social media. And then finally, according to a survey by the National Sleep Foundation, the most common way people start their day is by checking their email, social media, or the news. Now, I'm not here to bash social media. That's not really my point. But my point is that 1/3 of Americans feel like they're not getting enough sleep. And in conjunction with that, they're saying that on average, they're wasting 2.1 hours per day being unproductive. And they're saying that they're starting their day out with social media, email, and news, which coincidentally is part of that group of activities that they're saying are being wasted. So with that being said, it seems like it would be appropriate if we had a methodology that helped us optimize our time and get more out of our day. And this particular methodology that the 5 a.m. Club is proposing is to take better control of your morning. And you'll see when you read the summary, it doesn't only propose that you wake up at 5 a.m., but it also suggests that you should go to bed at 10 p.m. So the book is very much so proposing that you be more diligent about the management of your time. And we've spoken in the past about the relevance of time management to things like social connection and relationship building. People just tend to have a shortage of time, which of course makes sense because there's only so many hours in a day and there are only so many years in a lifetime. So with that being said, the book further proposes that rising at 5 a.m. alone won't do it. You could rise at 5 a.m. and, of course, waste that time scanning social media and checking messages. That won't optimize your day. The book goes on to further propose a formula called the 20-20-20 formula that suggests that you use 20 minutes to move, 20 minutes to reflect, and then finally 20 minutes to grow. So this is not necessarily about not spending your time on social media or not spending your time using email. I think what this book is really proposing is that you make a concerted effort, that you be intentional about managing your time, that you take control of your time, you optimize your time. And this is simply a way that you can go about doing it by rising at 5 a.m. and going to sleep at 10 p.m. I can personally attest to the fact that if you lose track of time, things can kind of start to cascade in a bad way. And you can maybe find yourself waking up at later times than you expected, or waking up earlier, but not being in an ideal position mentally or emotionally or physically to really perform at your highest level. And I think that's a key idea, right? When you're able to go to sleep early, wake up early, you're able to put yourself in an ideal situation to get your best performance. That's really what I think you want to do in order for you to, as our last video said, maximize your growth or drive your growth. One of the key ways for you, I think, to be able to maximize your growth and development is for you to really take charge of your time. And that might seem like, hey, we're putting constraints on you and you're going to end up ultimately being less satisfied because you basically don't have the flexibility that you once had. That could happen. I'm not going to lie to you. You could end up feeling that way. But I think that you'd also be foolish to not consider the fact that possibly by putting some parameters around maximizing your performance, you might actually end up increasing the pie of your time and getting more out of the hours that you spend awake during a day. I don't know where I saw it, but I read somewhere that the sleep that you get on the front end of the night, so if you think about midnight, and you think about everything before 12 o'clock at midnight being the front end and everything after 12 o'clock at night being the back end. From what I understood of this particular study or this particular content that I was reading, it was saying that the hours on the front end of 12 or midnight actually are worth more than the hours on the back end, which to me suggests something that's very interesting. Not all hours are created equally. So by that, I mean, if you are able to maximize the amount of time that you're spending at any given moment during the day, you might actually get more out of your waking hours by being more diligent about the hours that you're actually utilizing than you would if you were to just have a very laissez-faire attitude towards managing those hours. Just something to think about, right? Something to consider. With that being said, I hope this information is going to be helpful for you and your growth and development, and I wish you the best success.